52 Traders, episode 104.
Understanding the fear and greed of people will help define that whole sentiment of the markets as well.
Join Cam every week on the 52 Traders podcast or at 52traders.com to learn how to trade like the pros. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not investment, trading, or financial advice of any kind.
What's up, traders? Welcome to another installment of the 52 Traders podcast. I'm your host, Cam Hawkins, and today we've got Rick Wyatt on the show. Now, Rick came to me in an odd way, actually. He was also a guest on a show I was on quite a while ago, and a show that I don't even know if it's still around anymore. Anyway, the guy who interviewed me was sort of into binary options, had a bit of a trading bent to him, but he was sort of all over the place in terms of what he was trying to do with the show. Anyway, he did say to me at the end of the show, and this was quite a while ago, he said, you got to get this guy on your show. And I don't know why it took me so long, but I finally got there, and I didn't know if he was going to be unbelievable or good or really good or whatever, but this guy was sort of raving about him, and he said he's a trader, although I couldn't see a lot of trading stuff on the internet about him when I went to do a bit of research. So I sort of lost interest, and eventually I went back to him and just recently and thought, hey, look, what's the harm? I'll reach out to him, see if he's the real deal, if he trades at all, because there was sort of very little sign that he did trade, and just go from there. Anyway, so I did, and boy, was it worthwhile. I mean, I got the guy on the show, and we're going to hear from him in a second. He's probably got the best, not just trading story, but life story I've heard in a long, long while, and it's, I mean, some of you might even know this guy. You might even know him, but probably not in the trading circle. Definitely not in the trading circle. In fact, it's so obscure from trading, you'll fall off your seat, right? So this is so obscure from trading. It is completely something that is not trading related that he is famous for. And you're going to hear that in a second, and you're going to hear his full story of his life and how he got there, and it is quite an amazing story. So, guys, stay tuned for that in a second. Now, before we get into it, before I do go off on my spiel, before we get into my spiel, he's a futures trader. So he trades futures and he trades order flow, but he does tell us an awful lot in this show about what he does and how he does it. And so you do get an awful lot of insight, some reference points to go to as well. It is truly a great show, and as I've said in previous episodes, I'm going to actually make this one of the best episodes up there on the site. So I've got a list of best episodes. This is going to make it to the best of the best. Right, so we know now a little bit about him. Let's talk about me. So what am I doing with my trading? So I thought I'd give you guys an update. I do have, I suppose, a wee gap between between doing these shows where I update you on what I'm up to in my trading. I haven't been on my Facebook Live this week or last week. Was it? Yeah, 2 weeks I haven't done it. Unfortunately, I was away in the weekend and it just completely threw me off. So my day, I just lost a day and, well, the whole weekend, in fact. And then it's school holidays this week, so it's all been a bit higgledy-piggledy. But I did have a great weekend, though. I went away with a bunch of lads in my football team. We had an absolute superb time up in an island off Auckland, and a lot of drinking, a lot of hilarity, some calamities, some just stupid things that I suppose guys, look, we're sort of 35-plus team, 50-year-olds there. Stupid things that just sort of ruin your weekend, but you got to laugh about it at the end of the day. So, like, for example, went to bed on the Friday night. So we'd all gone out to the pub, went to bed on the Friday night, and we're staying in these little bunk beds in sort of 4 bunk bed rooms, quite small. Get into the room, and one of the guys, Argentinian guy, goes, I'm a bit cold, so I'm going to put the heater on for a bit. And it's like, it was 14 degrees that day, so centigrade that is. So it wasn't, it was a little bit, I suppose it was a little bit cold. It was probably, dropped to 10 or 11 or something. Anyway, put the heater on, and middle of the night, another guy wakes up and goes, man, it's hot in here. I'm going to open the door. Opens the door, and then I wake up about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, geez, it's roasting. And I'm like, this guy's snoring next to me. I can't sleep. And then I've got all these mosquitoes everywhere. Anyway, long story short, series of events which led to about 300 mosquitoes entering our bedroom, and I was thinking, why is this like the tropics? I didn't know the heater had been turned on. The heater was the root cause of it. The doors open, letting mosquitoes in, bit into buggery. We all woke up going, I had no sleep, it was so hot. And we finally worked it out, and it's like, it's the heater. Somebody turned the heater. What happened? Why did we turn the heater on? Anyway, we worked out why we turned the heater on. To take the chill off the room. We had no sleep, absolutely shattered the next day, but great fun. Football on the beach, swimming in the sea, freezing cold water, spa pools, going to watch football matches. It was absolutely brilliant weekend. So if any of you guys are listening who are in the team, then I hope you enjoyed the weekend as much as I did. My trading. So last week I did get into some trading. So I was trading. I've finally hit some barriers here. I've really sort of taken things to the next level. Simple things which I should have been doing months and months and months ago, but I didn't have a mentor then, and it's taken me this long to get there to be able to at least go and do this stuff, which is just, I suppose it comes down to the fact that I'm probably more of a creative person as opposed to someone who likes to stick to rigid things, and therefore I find this stuff hard. And it's stuff I'm talking about, trading journal. I've actually started a trading journal, and it probably took me 3 attempts to do it. Every single attempt I did, I just didn't like the ease of doing it. It was quite difficult, and I didn't like the way I did it. Now I do it very simply, and it is a simple technique. I've got a bit of software that I run on my machine, which is like a screen capture software, but it lets you do a little bit more, so you can draw on the screen and all this sort of stuff. I think there's Jing is one. The one I use is called Light Shot, and it just runs in the background. I hit print screen at the end of the trade, and I can draw on the screen and the chart and make notes, and that's basically my trading journal. So as soon as I exit the trade, I hit print screen, and then I can make notes about how I felt, what I did, entered, exit, all that sort of stuff. And look, I've got to say it's working because it's slowing me down. It's meaning I'm not entering as many trades, and it's meaning that because I do this, I can't enter as many trades, and therefore I can't lose as many times. So that was number one. Number two, and I suppose this was the precursor to the trading journal. So this was actually something I finally did, which was write up a trading plan. And once again, I've been told this many, many times, actually pretty fewer than writing up a journal, but I finally did it, took the leap of faith and wrote up a plan. And it's quite funny what you do. You know, you write up a trading plan, you think, okay, here it is. I've listed everything I'm going to do. And then 2 minutes after reading the trading plan, which says don't trade, 15 minutes after the news, I'm in a trade and the news has just hit, and it's 2 minutes after the news hit. And I've just opened up the charts. So it's like, what on earth am I doing? Anyway, note that down, write it down in my trading journal, and hopefully the subconscious mind is finally catching up with what it should be doing. And then I find that the next few trades are okay. And look, even though the news hit, I managed to get out of these things and break even or small profit. And last night I had 3 profitable trades. They weren't perfect trades. They need work, but I had 3 in a row, and it's a good sign. And I mean, this week I think I've had pretty much mostly profitable trades, maybe one unprofitable. So things are heading in the right direction, and 2 of the things that are contributing to that are the trading plan and the trading journal. So guys, if you haven't got one and you're doing this stuff, then I do recommend you start looking at it. And hey, look, I'll give a further update in the coming months where I can sort of give you a sort of whole picture of what I've been doing and where things are at now. Right, before we get into that, before we get into the show, if you do want to hear the full episode, you're going to need to sign up as a pro member. So upgrade, and you're going to get all the episodes completely opened up, so you're going to hear the full episodes of all of them. The first 52 episodes are free though. 52 traders. I've opened up 52 episodes. So if you do want to chuck these in your Android phone, your iPhone podcast app player, you can listen to the first 52 episodes of the show completely free. And if you want the rest, excluding Trading Mentors Match Off, which is a series and it's separate, and we're sort of almost finished recording that, but you can come in early now if you want it. Join up as a pro member and you'll get access to all the other interviews that I'm doing with these traders, okay? So guys, last but not least, if you're into automating your trading, then jump onto my other site, automatemytrading.com. This month of October, I'm actually giving away an hour of my time for anyone that joins the course community and a lifetime member. So, guys, you get an hour of my time, and in that time, I can pretty much build you a full-on robot. Well, 90% there, depending on how complex your strategy is. But if you jump over there now, you're going to be able to see me build one anyway and take that robot away with you. So, guys, automatemytrading.com is my other site, but if you want to hear this full episode, jump on board as a pro member. Without further ado, let's welcome Rick Wyatt. All right, folks, so here we have Rick Wyatt in the house here on 52 Traders. Rick was also on a podcast that I was on about a year or so ago, and the guy who interviewed me recommended getting Rick on, a futures trader, with an unbelievably interesting story. And how's it going over there, Rick, in Kansas, getting ready for, hopefully it's just a tropical storm by the time it hits you?
Yeah, hopefully. Because we're in the middle of the states, typically we're safe from hurricanes and things like that. But this Hurricane Irma that's going on right now down in the Caribbean's getting ready to hit Florida. It's a strong one, so it's predicting to hit parts of Missouri, which is the next state over from where I'm at right now, and get pretty close to home. So we may catch some of the byproduct of it. Hope not, but yeah, Kansas is more tornadoes. We have never dealt with hurricanes in our life, so so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But we're good for now.
That's good. Funnily enough, I've interviewed, I think, 3 people all sort of in line with the hurricane in the last couple of days. So there's this guy in Florida who I interviewed yesterday, and he said that by Monday it will be over him.
Wow.
It is going to basically just go straight through them at this current point in time. I mean, it might veer off, who knows? But I was like, okay, wish you all the best, and maybe you won't be at home. Well, let's get this interview done now while you are.
Absolutely.
Okay, so do you want to give us a bit of a background about what you do personally? Because I know your personal sort of story is quite interesting, so I think the listeners would be interested to hear that, and then how you got into trading.
Oh, sure. Well, it starts way back. When I was a little guy, I had prepared to play football my entire life. So that was what my life revolved around. And I did okay. Got up through high school levels, all kind of not state champions, but first class All-Americans and all that stuff, and went off to New York for on a scholarship to play football. Done really well there, broke all the records, and eventually played for the Minnesota Vikings for 7 weeks. So I was signed to their practice squad. So that was my life growing up, and that was I thought was really going to take off, but unfortunately, like a lot of athletes at that level, something went wrong. I blew up my knee, eventually got cut, and that was kind of the end of my football career. So I kind of just lounged around for a year, not really knowing what to do. I mean, I wasn't really hurting for money, but I knew I had to figure out something to do. So I went to work at a local YMCA. Well, just kind of volunteer. A guy was working there, said I wasn't doing anything, come and help out a little bit. So I went and hung out with the kids there and fell in love with it. So actually just started working there for a while. But the interesting story behind that is during the mid 90s, this was around 96, late 96, there was a yo-yo phenomenon going on around the world, which I was oblivious to because I didn't know much about yo-yos at the time. But the kids started showing up with yo-yos. They were doing tricks, and heck, I wanted to start learning some well, so I went and bought me a yo-yo and started going to yo-yo classes and got really good really fast. I mean, this is like extremely quick from the first time I picked up a yo-yo as an adult. I mean, we all play with them as kids, like little Duncan, just throw it down, bring it up, things like that. But I mean, these kids were really good. So I went and learned, and my work days were like 2 hours, and it was just something I was just piddling around with. So those other free times I was going to the gym and then playing with this yo-yo. And about 6 weeks into it, I had passed all the master levels and everything. And then I got a call from a company out of Hawaii that was looking to hire 30 adult players to go around the world marketing a particular yo-yo and chaperoning the Hawaiian kids, which were just, I mean, they were amazing level. I mean, they were just the best of the best at the time. So I was one of those 30. So we moved out to Hawaii for 7 months off and on. So we spent 2 or 3 months at a time, come back home, go back, all for training and things like that. Then they turned us loose on the world. So this is for somebody that never been out of the continental United States. I thought Hawaii was huge. So had a chance to, my first trip was to Australia. So we went down to Sydney and down to Melbourne and did some marketing, and then just jumped around the world for the next 10 years after that. So I was 25, making 6 figures, single, playing with a yo-yo.
All right, folks, hope you enjoyed that sneak peek of the Rick Wyatt episode. Look, it is a fantastic episode. So jump on to 52traders.com/pro and you'll get access to our pro membership for very little. In fact, $4.97 for access to that episode and all the other episodes that are after the 52nd episode. So there's a good old 30-odd additional episodes in there that you can sink your teeth into and get all the new ones as well that come out. Now, if you do want to have even more episodes to listen to, then you can check out the Trading Mentors Match-Off series. So we're up to episode 14 at the moment, and that'll be going up to episode 21. So guys, check that out. That's taking 3 traders on a journey who are listeners like yourself to find out if we can make them profitable in about 3 to 4 months with 3 mentors that have been on the show. Okay, guys, so check that out. That's 52traders.com/TMM, or you can check out the show notes, the show description on your mobile app, and you should be able to see the links in there. And last but not least, if you do want to automate your trading, but learn to build trading robots without actually coding, learning to code, or you want to get away from buying trading robots that you've got no idea what they do, then go over to my other site, automatemytrading.com. Check it out there. I've got an October special, October 2017, depending on when you're listening to this, and you can get an hour with me. And in that time, and that's actually, within that time, you can actually build a full trading robot if it's simple enough, or I can get you sort of 75-90% there of the way, or you can just have a chat to me about the show and what goes on here at 52 Traders, and I'll tell you. Right, guys, so I'll leave you there this week. Hope you have a great trading week, and I'll catch you on the flip side.